Hello, leaders. I am Stephen Manning, the Cubbies director, and I have this video for you to just show you some general rules for Cubbies. And I'm excited to have you. We have a lot of fun, including treats. We have plenty of treats for both the clubbers and for the leaders, and I'm excited to serve the Lord with you as we teach these kids about Jesus and how much He loves them. Just wanted to go over a few things. One is the handbook, and you're going to be getting this in an email for those of you who sign up. But I want to go through walk through our Cubbies. I'm not going to call it handbook because it's not really a handbook, but it's more like just kind of an overview of how each night works in Cubbies. So I'm just gonna kind of briefly go through it, and then I'll show you some examples of stuff, and hopefully this will help you so that you're ready for the first night. The first night's gonna be September 14th, and yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. First thing is the Cubbies start arriving typically anytime between 5:45 and 6. But they're technically not supposed to come till 6. But anyways, so I encourage you, and actually more encourage, we require that you be there by 5:45 to help set up. And you know, when you get to the place, our Brooks Bible Chapel, you will see where we meet in a far classroom, kind of towards the back of the building. And it's a big classroom, so it's plenty of room for all the Cubbies, and so that's where we meet. And there'll be people to guide you and show you where to be and everything. So, but anyways, I do request that you be there at 5:45 so you can help set up. We have to set up our Cubby squares, which I'll explain in a moment. We have to set up the books and animal toys for this to start club, and I'll explain that, and set up our sign-in sheets, puppet stage, all that kind of stuff. So if you could be there by 5:45, that would be awesome. And then from 6 to 6:15, that is when the Cubbies will be arriving. Again, typically they start coming about 5:45, but anyways, that's our general time frame. And as they're coming in, I ask that you be with the kids, help them play with the toys or read books. There's also some puzzles that they can do, so help them with that. Also, I need some specific leaders to help with sign in, and right here I don't have an example in front of me physically, but here is an example of the sign-in sheet. We're going to have those on the wall in the room, and they will be able to sign in. How it works is, again, I'll pull this up here. But as you can see, there's, excuse me, sorry. Anyways, there's spots for their name, and then we'll put dates at the top and little stickers for each night that they're here. And we'll have a couple sheets. So depending on how many kids we have, and they'll be up on the wall right inside the room there. So it'll help put a sticker on. Then they also get a name tag every night to help us remember who they are, and then also so they can even learn each other's names. So anyways, that's the start. And then at 6:15 is typically when we want to start our club for the night. And at that time, typically it'll be me, although I will be asking for people to help. But again, I'll get to that later. But to start off, we pray, and then anything that I need to say for the night for instructions or other announcements, etc., I'll say that. And then after we pray, we'll sing some songs, do a puppet show with Cubby and his friends and Timothy. Now, we do have puppets for Cubby and two other characters, Lovey and Katie Collie, a dog. And So if you're interested in helping with that, again, I'll explain that in a bit. But yeah, we do that. So we do songs, lesson, or excuse me, puppet show, and then we do a lesson from our curriculum, or a story from a book, but typically a lesson from our curriculum. And then after that, so we do that from, let's see, let me get my schedule. We do that from about 6:15 to 6:30, 6:45 on the handbook. You'll see that I have it start going from 6:15 to 6:45. It varies depending on the lesson, all that kind of stuff. So then after the lesson, we'll review our verse, and then they all get split up into their groups. And I'll show you kind of an example of our groups. So this is what you'll kind of work on setting up. And yes, I'm in our basement at home. But anyways, if you see on the ground here, there's a green square. And around the room, there's going to be different squares. Roughly 5 is what I'm starting with. And there'll be about 3 to 5 kids in a group or so. I try to get as even as I can. And the first night, it's going to be crazy, but I'll explain that. But, so anyways, yes, you have these squares here. And everyone in the square should have certain supplies. And so here's the supplies you're going to need. And you should all groups should have this. You have a bag of crayons, and then an extra tape, and actual tape roller, a pair of scissors, and these are only for the leaders, glue sticks, regular glue, special stickers for their books, extra stickers for craft time, and then you should also have at least 1 pencil, 2 pens, and a marker like your color square. Same color. So that's what you'll have in your group color, and they're going to be in big bags, big gallon bags, and so you'll have those for each group. But anyways, during group time, you're going to work on helping them learn their verse and say it. They should have already started working on with their parents. So that'll go from about 6:45 to 7:15, or well, no, actually 7:25, yeah. And then from 7:25 to 7:45, that's when our game time will be. And I will note before I get to game time, during the handbook time, we do not have a specific set of time for everyone to use the potty. We have done in the past when we used to meet at Emmaus, but we don't do that now. Right now what I do is, after a while during handbook time, I'll say, does any Cubbies need to go to the bathroom? And so I'll ask the question, if any Cubbies need to go, leaders you'll help take them to the bathroom. Now, as you probably have heard in the general video from the commanders, one important thing is to limit how much you are alone with a child, or how much you're touching him and stuff. But specifically for bathroom time, the important thing is there has to be 2 leaders going to the bathroom with a cubby. I never want to see 1 leader going with a cubby. And one thing that's a little tricky is that some nights we may not have all you guys here, and so some leaders, there may be like a leader that needs to stay with. You may have to pull a leader from a group that doesn't have a second leader, for example. And in that case, what I may do is either see if someone else from another leader from one of the other groups, or another adult in the other room, in the main game area, to see if there's someone that can help watch the kid. Or if one group doesn't have a lot of kids there that night, I'll ask that leader to help. It just depends. And then also, generally, boy leaders with boys, girl leaders with girls. but if it comes to necessary, we can have a girl leader, but that's probably not the best. But anyways, just wanted to explain that. Next, though, after our handbook time at about 7:25, we'll have our game time. And so you'll see when you come into the church, chapel building, you have the main foyer area, fellowship area. That's going to be the area where the games are. And you'll see a game area taped down, like a wand circle and everything. And that's where we're going to play our games. Now with Cubbies, we don't, at least I have not done too much with actual Awana games. We could, I may try to introduce that, but typically we play games like, there's a game where you can have all the covers line up on a big circle that's there, and you can give them 3 clues to guess an animal. They can pretend they're that animal inside the circle. Or we have a parachute, we can go around circles at any sort of those kind of games. And I have a handbook that you can look at if you're interested during club, and I also use it as a reference too when I want to try to introduce some new games. Then after game time, which is from 7:25 to 7:45, from 7:45 to 8 o'clock, they'll come back to our main room. They'll have water, snacks, and if it's awards night or if they got caught up on verses, they'll get awards. And then any announcements, I'll make at that time as well. And then after that, it's just dismissal and cleanup. And one thing we have to make sure of is that we know who's picking up the Cubbies. If it's someone, well, okay, I'll first start off that each Cubby, when they register, either online or when they first come that first night, the parents will fill out a form, and we need to make sure we know the parents and who's listed on the form. And if there's somebody else that may pick someone up, it might be good to even ask the parents, because I don't think it's on that form. And I think that's something I'm going to make sure to do this year, to make sure that we know who the Cubbies are going home with, because these are young kids, and I don't want any random person taking a kid. Now, that's not likely to happen, but I'm going to make sure it doesn't. So, but even for your sake, or, for you guys, I ask your help in that. So, just making sure we know who the Cubbies are going home with. So, that's kind of a walkthrough of the night. Typically, my expectation for you all is to, again, be with the kids. It's okay to talk to one another and, just have some chit-chatting, but try not to, cuddle together as leaders and just focus on each other and not really get involved with the kids. Like at the beginning, as they're coming in, they're going to sit in the middle of the room and they're going to play with animals or books or puzzles. And I ask that you please be involved with them. And then during game time, same thing, be involved with them. Again, I'm not saying you can't talk to each other, but just be involved and don't huddle together as leaders. And again, you probably were kind of briefly mentioned that in the general video, but I wanted to just kind of keep an eye on that. Another thing I want, again, touching with what you probably heard in that general video, is during handbook time, lessons time, anytime, some of the Cubbies do like to sit on your lap. Or they, and that's normal, but try to discourage it, because really we cannot be, having too much hands, like physical touch with the kids, so to speak. We gotta limit that, because this day and age, even if we know people, you just never know what's gonna happen. And especially if we have kids that aren't churched, you gotta be careful. So please be careful and try to limit. Even if some of the kids will love to climb on you, or for you ladies, they might like to play with your hair. Try to just discourage that. Just say, keep your hands to yourself, please. So yeah, that's kind of the basics there. Now, I want to show you an example of my volunteer sheet. So, you'll be getting an electronic version of this, and I'll also have some extra copies on the first night of club. But this right here is a sheet where I ask you to put your name, any contact information, and then checking off which areas you are interested in helping with. I have here set up and clean up. Now that's generally an expectation for anybody, but if someone wants to specifically sign up to kind of be the lead helper in that, you can check that one off. Also, leading songs. I would love you guys to be involved with that. But again, I'm not saying you have to, but I would love to have some of you, trade off and teaching them songs if needed. And I can give you examples. Or if you have examples, you can let me know. Same with teaching the verse, telling the story from the curriculum or a Bible story book. You can do either. But I encourage you to help with that, because these kids, honestly, some of you might be a little unsure. I'm a little afraid to do it. Trust me, I was there. But I would love for more. In the past, I haven't gotten many leaders to help with this, and I really would like leaders. I would like you to step up and venture out into teaching. And if some of you, especially if you're an Emmaus student, if that's where your gift is and that's what you're kind of studying, if, for example, if you're in the ELED program, this would be a great example for you, and I'd love to have you on board. There's also puppets, helping with puppets. Typically there's about 1 or 2 puppets tonight, plus one person being the narrator. It's just fun. Don't be too shy, because honestly, the kids, either they do or don't know that you're actually doing the puppets, and they're 3 to 5 year olds. They're not going to care how well you do. So, don't be afraid. And if you are, it's okay. I understand. And you don't have to, but I would love anyone to be help with that. Also, craft preparation. Now, I actually bring the craft supplies. So, in terms of, gathering supplies, I take care of that. But if someone can help me, set them up, if we need to, cut something up before we start the craft or something like that, because we do the craft during handbook time. I would love people to be able to let me know if you're interested in helping get that prepared before club starts. And then game time. I'd love to have people be involved with game time. Again, you can use the book, as I mentioned, that has ideas for games. But if you come up with different ideas for games that Cubbies would love, please let me know and check off that item on this sign-in volunteer sheet, and I would love to have you help. The gist of this form is I want to see you all involved, and I can't do everything. I mean, I'm willing to, and I'm kind of a person that if you guys can't, I'm okay with it. I don't mind doing it, but I would love to see you all help out and serve. And so that's that. I'll briefly mention as well, this is our Cubbies entrance booklet. They're going to all get this the first night. And there's 2 sections here, one for a verse and one for them to learn the Cubbies motto, which is Jesus loves me. And then after they say that, they're going to get their books the second night. And there are 28 lessons in here. We are scheduled to do all of them, but if there is ever a snow day, if the school's canceled in Dubuque, and for a snow day, then we will also cancel. And so how we do that for Cubbies is we actually just completely skip that section. We don't make it up or anything. But if the clubbers can't make it and we still have club, then we do ask them to make up any verses they missed. Also, you'll see back here are some boxes I have for our supplies, and in here is going to be like paper clips, our awards, stickers, and then we have other supplies, tape, glue, miscellaneous stickers, paper, and then this box is right here is gonna be where our crayons are gonna be, and yeah, I will also briefly show you our lesson material. So we have these big, nice picture cards that go with the curriculum, and the curriculum is basically stories that go along with the verses in their books. And it's all in this teaching plans book, but what I typically do is either send an electronic version of the lesson to you or print out a copy, and you can go from there. But I will typically be the one handling these big picture cards. So I'll show you just some examples, and it's going to be using this little packet here, which I need to get a new one because it's kind of falling apart. But anyways, this is an example, it's a nice big picture, and you kind of you have those child evangelism fellowship where you have these story cards. You tell the story, but you just have the pictures here. You tell the story yourself. Like I said, there's the lesson plans in this book, and I can, like I said, copy it for you, whatever. You don't have to follow it word for word, so don't worry about, I'm gonna get this lesson, I have to memorize it. No, it's just knowing the story and telling them the story of how God loves them and what the lesson is for that night. So there's that. And then also, during handbook time, when they're saying their verses, there are 2 places you need to sign. One is in their book. Each section has a spot, and I'll show you an example here. So here there's a spot for a leader and a parent to sign, and you'll sign on the leader part. And then also you're going to sign on this, and this is going to be a responsibility every night in each of the groups. You're going to mark off if they're here. There's a spot for if they're here, if they have their book with them, if they say tonight's verse, which is here, or if there's any missing bear hugs that I have put on here that they need to say, any verses missed, they say there, and then I'll mark off if they say any awards. So please fill this out every night. And the first night, it's not gonna have the same form. We're gonna have basically kind of a mock form that'll look like this. And this is gonna just list the leaders and then who ends up being in one of the group, and listing the color over here. Because what we're looking for is at the first night, just who's there, and go from there. So yeah, those are the basic expectations of Cubbies. Generally, expect to have fun, be engaged with these 3 to 5 year olds. They'll get to know you, they'll love you. Another thing to help them learn is to make sure they listen during story time. They're not fooling around, and they have to be not messing with each other. They keep their hands to themselves. Again, don't let them climb on you, all sorts of that. I know it's a temptation with these young kids because they're so cute. And my son Peter will be there, which you'll love to see him. But anyways, yeah, just wanted to go through some things. If you have any questions, my contact information will be on the Cubbies Leader Handbook. And yeah, please let me know if you ever have any concerns or questions, or even tips on how to do something better in the night. Like if one night you say, hey, I have this idea, please let me know. I'd love to. I do want to put one last plug in here for those of you middle schoolers and high schoolers that are helping in Cubbies. There is a Awana program, especially those who graduated last year from TNT. There is a middle school, high school Awana program that I'm sure you would love to be in, and I'm the point person for it. Typically, I haven't had too many students interested in this, but I would love to help walk through your journey in life and walking with God. And the program is called Trek, and I have a couple books. I don't know what the cost is for the books, but if you're interested, I would love to help you keep growing in the Lord. So yeah, if you're interested, just let me know, and we can, if we get enough interest, we can order more books. So yeah, come on. I'd love to join your life journey, and show you how much God is with you, taking care of you, guiding you in the many complexities of teenage life. I was there not too long ago, but long enough. And so, yeah. Anyways, that's all I have. If you ever have any questions, just let me know. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you September 14th at 5:45. God bless. Bye.